Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald, here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the week in wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We're going to talk, of course, about NXT 2.0, the NXT After Mania. It was an interesting show. Things happened.
That's a way of putting it.
Yeah. And you know what, man? We're gonna indulge in a little bit of, I'm not even gonna call it reckless speculation, because I think at this point it might be educated speculation, Larson, about the potential.
I think also it's trying to make sense out of a situation which seems like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like why they'd have Walter lose to Braun Breaker.
So
not build to it up as a pay-per-view bout, which is what it should have been.
The idea before, while we're filming this, because I do the thumbnails for the little episodes after we're done filming. Yeah. And right now I'm going to put like Walter and then the background like a Smackdown logo. This is we're not better. Claiming. I'm just getting this. I just want to get this. We're a minute deep in the episode. What?
Even better.
What?
Photoshop Walter have a face off with Roman Reigns.
Like a W Wrestling thumbnail.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea. So I'm going to do that. We're a minute deep in the episode. We don't have any insider info, okay? Don't ever come to Going In Raw for insider info unless you just want us to regurgitate Sean Ross Sapp, who does have plenty of insider info.
Yes.
But I think it's a good topic of conversation to talk about, hey, let's look at this roster and what moves have been made storyline-wise over the past, 3, 4, 5 days and see what might happen to some of these wrestlers. Are they shipping some of these wrestlers to main roster? I think it's a good conversation. We're going to talk about that in just a second. First up, this is sort of an evolving situation that we've had our eyes on over the past couple days because of how it's been playing out on social media. And we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. We're here to talk about wrestling, stories, characters, et cetera, et cetera. When the world of wrestling it crosses over with the unfortunate reality of real life situations and what they can be, it's not easy to talk about. We kind of try to stay away from it because, it's not easy to talk about. And we don't have a lot of experience with certain subjects. So with that being said, it looks like, according to Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful, looks like Nash Carter has been released by WWE. This is following allegations from his, I believe, wife. I'm not sure if they were exes, actually. I think his actual wife, Kimberly, abuse allegations. She's posted some photos on her Twitter account and made some accusations. And now it appears, it would just seem to be the case that the result of that has been a release from WWE. Obviously, we'll keep an eye out for more information. But for us to go into greater detail, it's probably easier just to go on social media and take a look at Kimberly's account in terms of if you want the direct references to how this all went down.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that situation. But obviously, they are currently the NXT 2.0 tag champions. Be interesting to see, I guess, how this is handled. On screen. It's not like, when somebody gets released and they're a champion, well, number one, that just doesn't really happen. I don't know.
Doesn't happen very often, no.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember. I mean, I'm sure that has happened, but not anytime recently, that I can think of. So it'll be interesting to see how this is handled. We have no idea how this is going to be handled on screen. Was Enzo champion when he was released?
Was he Cruiserweight champion when he was released?
Snake Sosa and Rab Jr. Both say Enzo. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of forget how that was handled because my memory is terrible and I'm old.
I think they had another tournament to crown a new cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, but like in terms of how they announced that he was gone, because they like to stay away from that kind of stuff. If somebody in chat remembers how they actually announced, hey, we're going to have a new cruiserweight champion now, that'd be great. Maybe chat will let us know. That's what they're there for, to keep us in check, man. So anyways, it'll be interesting to see how that goes down. In a moment here, we're going to talk about an occasion where us and Seth Rollins agree with some thoughts he has on the WWE product. But first, let's talk about this. It's kind of an interesting little tidbit here about an AEW star who claims she almost retired from pro wrestling. What is this all about, Larson?
So on the most recent edition of AEW's Road to, Toni Storm revealed that she recently considered retiring from pro wrestling. These transcripts are from Fightful. That's what she said. Recently, I plan on retiring from the wrestling industry, which is something I never considered in my entire life. I put my entire life in becoming the best professional wrestler I could be. I lost that part of myself, and it brought a lot of feelings of emptiness and sadness that I can't even describe. I traveled the entire world to be good at this, just like Owen Hart did. AEW is home to the best women's division on the planet. I just qualified for the Owen Hart Women's Tournament for the first time ever. I can truly say that I am home. I watched this little snippet. I think I saw it on Twitter, and it's pretty. You could tell that this is something that this didn't come off as a promo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
This felt like a real genuine moment with her, where they were talking to her probably about the Owen tournament, and she mentions that she was considering stepping away. Now she doesn't say this had anything to do per se with her time at WWE. She didn't necessarily say what exactly was. Now, she did pretty much quit WWE a few months back.
Yeah.
After that program with Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if one wants to try to make connections between those two things, I guess that's up to them. But without her saying as much, I probably won't speculate on it.
Yeah, no, that's probably a smart move. It's never fun when your love or passion for something gets just sucked right out of you. Mm-hmm. That's got to be rough. So hopefully she found what she's looking for, and it has not. Maybe just in her contract she just said, hey, you know what? I don't want to get hit in the face with a pie. Can we just do that? Can we just do that?
Yeah. You mean her AEW contract?
Her AEW contract. That happened in WWE. He says,
I know. That's why.
Fool me once, right?
Maybe in her WWE contract she had that happened. It's like, all right.
What an oddly specific thing to have in your contract. I would guess that she didn't because she got hit in the face with a pie.
Yeah, no.
Oh, man. Anyways. So, yeah, glad she's in AEW. I really hope. It's funny we talked about it. We're like, oh, man, yeah, she's great. And she is. But, I saw a lot of chatter on Twitter, and it's chatter on Twitter is usually terrible. But, when people talk about, man, I hope the same thing doesn't happen to her that happened to Ruby Soho, I sit there and think, yeah, that's a good point. I really hope it doesn't. Tony, it's Steve from Wrestle Juice. What's up, buddy? I got my friend Larson here. He's from Wrestle Farts. Give the women more time.
Yeah.
Lambert less time, women more time.
Did you see Ruby's new finish? She got a new finisher.
No, what is it?
I can't even describe it. It's like a reverse DDT, but like Sister Abigail style. That's crazy.
That's cool. That's neat. I want to see that. Maybe I'll see it at some point if she's on TV.
Yeah, I think she had a match on Darker Elevation. I saw it on that Twitter app.
Well, maybe
little video of it
on that Twitter app. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out. Because people are like, Steve, you want to see women's wrestling? They got it on Dark and Elevation. That ain't the same, man. I want to see TNT and TBS, dude.
Yeah, on cable television.
On cable television, yeah, exactly.
On cable television.
That's what I have.
Agreed,
I don't have
agreed,
internet.
Let's
talk about this. I don't worry about it. Let's talk about this. You
didn't have internet? That's interesting.
I know, right? It's weird. This is all through cable TV here.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's talk about this, man. What's one thing that has been true since, I don't know, when it was like 2010? When did they move Raw to 3 hours?
Raw's too long.
It's too long.
It's too long. It's too much.
It's too long. It's too much Raw. You know who agrees with us, Larson? The visionary.
I'm guessing a lot of people.
The architect. The revolutionary. Yeah, tons of people, but one person in specific, Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
He said this with the SI Sports Illustrated Media Podcast. They couldn't come up with a better name for it? Sports Illustrated Media Podcast?
Sometimes maybe the most direct name is sometimes the best,
We should have gone that route, the Steven Larson Wrestling Podcast.
I suppose we still could.
It's very advertising.
Maybe they think SI Media Podcast is like good for SEO or something. I don't know.
It could be, yeah. I mean, you type in Going in Raw. Don't do it. Don't Google that.
No.
You get all sorts of crazy stuff. Anyways, this is what he had to say. Come on, man. Let's get back on track. These transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co. He says, I think a 3-hour show is just obnoxiously long every week. Everything gets stretched out, and you've got to fill 3 hours of television. There's just nothing to be done. That's just how it is. So I think 2 hours is a beautiful kind of number for a pro wrestling show. And I think it's easier to make everything mean a little bit more. On Smackdown, when I was there last year, I hardly ever wrestle on television, so it's kind of a big deal. You look at Roman, he hardly ever wrestles on TV. I think maybe a handful of times in the last year. So when he has matches at these pay-per-views, they feel like big deals. And on Raw, I've wrestled in like 26 5-star matches in the last 2 months. It's just been wild, the amount of actual wrestling that I have to do. I love to avoid that, but it is what it is. That's awesome. He says, I like the fact that I get a lot more screen time on Mondays because you have the extra hour. But yeah, it's apples to oranges type thing. I do think 3 hours is just a lot to ask every week of a viewer. Holy crap. This is fascinating because usually this dude is raw WWE. Now he's just shooting from the hip, Larson.
I know. It's great. Also in the same interview, you talked about WrestleMania 35 and how it was way too long. 7 hours of WrestleMania. Too much.
Too much.
It's too much.
Too many. All right, let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. People don't always recognize the physical symptoms of stress. Headaches, teeth grinding, sleeping too much or too little, and digestive issues can all be indicators of stress.
Yeah, and having dealt with anxiety for most of my adult life, I can definitely tell tales of many nights laying awake just stressing about a variety of things. But it's moments like that where you got to remind yourself that you got to take care of yourself and try to find someone to talk to. Having gone through that process, I know how difficult it can be to find a therapist that you feel comfortable speaking with. But with BetterHelp, you get customized online therapy that makes that process much more convenient by offering video, phone, and even live chat therapy sessions.
So give BetterHelp a try and see if online therapy can help lower your stress. Right now, BetterHelp is offering Going In Raw listeners 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp.com/raw.
And let's get a word from our sponsor, ExpressVPN. Steve, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Say you go to a coffee shop or internet cafe and you ask some complete stranger to watch your computer while you go use the bathroom. And odds are this stranger isn't going to run off with your stuff, but at the same time, would you really want to risk leaving your computer unprotected?
Not my computer. No, God, no. Of course not.
No, of course not. But that's basically what happens anytime you connect to an unencrypted network on airplanes and hotels, cafes, or coffee shops where your data is not secured. Sure, your personal data might be fine, but any hacker on that same network could easily gain access to your passwords or financial details.
But ExpressVPN creates a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet, so hackers can't steal your data. All you got to do is fire up the app, click one button to connect, and you are protected. Plus, ExpressVPN works on all your devices, laptops, phones, and tablets, so you can stay protected while you're on the go.
So secure your online data today at expressvpn.com/GIR and get 3 extra months free.
That's expressvpn.com/GIR. expressvpn.com/GIR.
And before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Ray Conso. Steve?
Yes.
We may be, about 4 months into 2022, but that doesn't mean we can't all shake things up. Maybe try out a new workout routine or travel someplace new. Whatever way you decide to make a change, there's no better way to do it than with a pair of Raycon wireless earbuds in your ears.
Yeah, man. Whether you're going to a new gym or traveling to a new destination, Raycon wireless earbuds are the best way to bring audio with you. And their everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever.
Yeah, they've got optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. Their earbuds fit so well, they don't budge at all. Whether I'm running or doing burpees or as I'm about to do, shake my head. Look.
Oh my gosh.
They're not moving, Steve.
You are shaking your head a lot too, and they're not going anywhere.
I really am. And not only do they stay in your ears, but Raycons also give you the audio quality you need at half the price of other premium audio brands.
That's right. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 15% off their Raycon order at buyraycon.com/raw. That's buyraycon.com/raw to save 15% on Raycons. buyraycon.com/raw.
All right, you want to talk about this episode of NXT? I know it's, speaking of a show that's 2 hours, but
looks like it's hurting
somehow managed to feel like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
This show felt, in my estimation, really, 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 really long. It just felt every second of those 2 hours.
There are a lot of segments. I'm looking at your notes here and just like, I don't know, going off of what
That's part
usually...
of the thing. They try to jam in like 25 segments in a 2-hour show, and you think that would really keep the pace up, keep it interesting, but no, it tends to slow things down. That's one thing I always notice about the episodes of Raw that feel really long.
Yeah.
Because they try to do too much.
Yeah, it's weird because like AEW does too much, and yet those shows always zoom by. It's weird. They have a good mix of like really long wrestling matches, and yet they have like like in the span of 3 minutes they jam pack like 5 talking segments.
That's the thing, is that they'll get the talking bits are usually pretty brief, unless Dan Lambert's on the screen or MJF.
Yeah.
Otherwise, promo bits, or Punk for that matter too, talking bits generally pretty quick and relatively efficient. That's just not WWE's way of handling talking bits for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you got to recap what happened the prior week, and you got to go to some long exposition about what they're going to do in the future or currently doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can't just be, I want to do this. This is why, so let's go do it.
Yeah, right.
Generally how AEW handles things, you know?
Yeah.
And WWE just doesn't do that. And when they do a lot of really talking segments that are needlessly elongated, it just gets tiresome.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about some of the, before we get into the minutia of the show, let's talk about some of the booking decisions and what it might mean. Because number one, you know, when I saw Gunther challenge Braun Breaker at the head of the show for the title that night in the main event, I thought, okay, that's soon. Like, I would have figured they'd wait a little bit because it seemed like they were trying to make a big deal out of Imperium. I know they just lost the tag titles, but Gunther has really been, ever since he's been redubbed Gunther, it does seem like there's been a new emphasis. Like, this is a dude in waiting that might actually get the title. He seemed like he was sort of, you know, being primed as the alpha guy. And then he had a match against Braun Breaker, and he lost clean. Which, again, more evidence that Walter is not there anymore. This is Gunther. Walter, the Dominator, who is just ripping people limb from limb for, I don't know, 800 days or whatever it was, is no longer in the company. This is Gunther. This slim down dude is not the same person. That being said, it does cause you to think, okay, well, hold on a second. Wait now. Does this pretend something else just to have this one and done match? And then earlier in the show, which sort of complicates things as well, Fabian Eichner walked out on Marcel Bartel during the tag match. So either they're telling a story where Eichner leaves, or Walter is just heading to SmackDown, or is it some weird combination of both? What do you make of this?
I mean, it could entirely be a combination of neither. It could just be a weird story beat they're adding to add some intrigue to the whole Imperium thing, but they're not the cohesive unit that they come off to be. It's confusing when you have Walter, who is an attraction. It's like granted, I know I'm biased. I'm a massive Walter fan.
Well,
he's like the attraction in NXT.
Yeah, you don't have to qualify it by saying you're biased. He has been featured. Like, this is objectively, the man has been featured.
As not just like, hey, really good wrestler, as an attraction. And the way that he was booked in NXT UK wasn't on every week. When he wrestled, it felt like a special event, just like Seth was talking about.
Yeah.
Now he's on TV every week.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the mystique of Walter, a lot of the mystique of Walter just isn't there anymore since he's gotten the new name. This is a match given Walter's championship credentials, that you'd think this is something you build to. Like Walter's like the final boss, you know? And that is you're telling the story with Braun where essentially he's learning how to be a wrestler. He's in the ring with veterans. He'll get tricked into doing things. He'll get lured into traps, and he learns from it. That's the story they've been telling with him. And you got Walter, a guy who held the title over in NXT UK for almost like 900 days. That's a good story to build to. And to just kind of throw that away, I can understand why you would think, oh, that must portend a call-up for Walter. But at the same time, maybe it's just something as simple as, well, Braun just got this belt back. We want to get a huge win.
Yeah, no, sometimes the simplest route is the one they take, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's look, I would be kind of surprised. Usually they keep those final boss type guys. If they're going to build them, why would you put that on just a regular episode of TV when you've got any number of other people
with no build
whatsoever? To me, it screams we're gonna shuffle this guy onto main roster. And let's get this win out of the way for Braun Breaker because it's a good win for him. Because otherwise, like, I don't know this could be in the plans and they'll change their mind. Maybe it was never in the plans. This is just a weird story beat. If there isn't something else on the horizon for Gunther, for Walter.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it turns out in a couple weeks' time that he just lost clean, no call up. And here's the thing too: is this win for Braun doesn't advance any story between him and Gunther, as you know, the lay of the land indicates right now. Because as soon as that match is over, bang, we go to the Tron and see Rick Steiner has been kidnapped by Joe Gacy and Harlan.
Yeah.
And it's like, if the point of the Braun Walter thing was to start a story there, then you wouldn't think that story beat would have happened.
Right.
No, the story going forward is going to be between Joe Gacy and Braun.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So it makes the Walter's loss even more kind of confusing.
Well, it makes it confusing if he's not going to main roster. If he's going to main roster, then it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, in a bubble, while just watching NXT completely, it's like, whoa, wait a second. This guy was hot shit, and then he's quantum leaping out? I mean, that is a hallmark of NXT. Big time guy loses and quantum leaps out, and they move on.
But usually they have like a full run in NXT before that happens.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know. His run in UK, and then, hey, let's get you ready for main. Maybe they wanted him in main roster all along, straight from NXT UK, and they were like, hey, have a stop off in NXT Prime, help us start this 2.0 thing, and then we'll get you to main roster. There's another name as well, and here's the thing, dude. What have you and I talked about on this show endlessly lately over the past 6 months to a year? What is SmackDown lacking?
Challengers for Roman.
An upper mid card. Yeah, an upper mid card. Challengers for Roman, or challengers really for the guys that should have the Intercontinental Championship, even though they don't care about mid card titles. There was another name last night who wasn't even on the show. Carmelo Hayes, the A champion. He's been a focal point in NXT 2.0 ever since, he was sort of rebranded the A champion. Trick Williams, he got the North American Championship. And he tweeted last night, I chose to not be on NXT TV tonight. We're coming up with the next play to run. Now, that's good on him for social media savvy to say, hey, I wasn't there and I'm letting you guys know why. It would not shock me at all if a couple names showed up on SmackDown Friday night. Now, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up because I say this, and it's going to be like, it's probably just going to end up being a boring episode of SmackDown where Roman still doesn't know what they're going to do with those titles because maybe they don't know what to do with those titles.
Yeah, they have no idea. He'll probably end the show saying, hey, tune in next week so you know what my next move is.
Yeah, exactly. But Carmelo, Gunther, and Ciampa, a diverse lineup, all bring different strengths and weaknesses to the table. I could see them maybe on SmackDown.
Old Zero Star also mentions LA Knight. He wasn't on the show.
LA Knight wasn't there last night either. Yeah. So I don't know. Interesting stuff. We did get a call up to NXT Prime in the form
one
of
that we expected for a while. Yeah.
Pretty Deadly. Shout out to
they have new names.
Shout out to whoever it was in chat that gave us the name of their finisher that one time.
Yeah.
When we were trying to solve the Don't Cry mystery.
Yeah, but now thanks to them, now we knew it was pretty deadly. It was cool. They have new names.
Elton Prince.
And Kit
Kitson or something like that. Kit Watson.
Kit something.
Something like that.
You know, I don't know how many people in the crowd knew who they were, but it was a weird crowd last night for NXT anyways.
Oh my God.
Weird during his opening promo.
Weird.
Yeah.
That you're being polite, my friend. You're being polite. I can't stand that shit. That was worse than Beach Ball Mania because there's so few. There's so many fewer of them.
I know every single person who has anything to say, you can hear it clear as day.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they need to take. Look, I know it's a money loser, whatever. Although I don't really. Yeah, take it on the road. Take it on. Get it out of there. Get it out of there. If that's what the crowd's going to be like, that was horrible.
I know. So he had Braun beginning of the show. There was like dueling chants of like, "You're the champ, not my champ," or something like that.
Yeah, we want Ziggler.
During the Cameron Grimes bit, there was a "You deserve it, no, you don't." No, was that during that? Was that during that one?
Yeah, they were giving Cameron Grimes shit,
which was weird. And there's one other time.
No, there was.
Was it during the Tony D'Angelo? Oh, they're chanting "boring" during the Tony D'Angelo.
This is boring. Yeah. Like that poor guy. Like he's just there to do the dawn ceremony, and he like lost his lines a couple times. Oh, I felt for him. I felt for that guy. You know, it's like they're out there to perform, and it's kind of like there is a difference. Like it's one thing if it's like, I don't know, 8,000, 12,000 people or whatever in an arena setting versus the very intimate. Like these dudes are like feet away from everybody in the crowd. You know what I mean? Like it's not like there's like an upper section and a lower bowl and then the floor seats. It's like the person that's furthest from the wrestler is like the furthest floor seat maybe, and it's probably closer than that. Yeah, in like an arena. And so like every one of these idiots were just trying to hijack the show, and it's like I get it. Well, they don't even pay for that. I think aren't these like free tickets?
Maybe.
I think these are comped. I could be wrong about that. I think Bex has been like, yeah, no, they just sent me an email and said, hey, you want to come out to this? Yeah, dude, I don't know. That was it was ugly. I can't stand that shit.
Yeah,
I really can't.
It's pretty disrespectful of the talents out there.
It is. It really is.
Really darn disrespectful. One last story beat here we could talk about before we get to the recap. So Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, when they get their hands in those tag titles, they seem to lose them right away. Happened when they first got them. And now 3 days after winning them back, they lost them back to Toxic Attraction.
I know what their answer would be to the question, what matters more, the number of reigns or the length of reigns?
Apparently number.
Yeah, right.
Now it seems like they're using that to motivate. I mean, it's obvious they're doing this. Motivate Dakota going after Mandy and the women's title.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting in a way that they kind of reverse the roles for Dakota and Raquel. With Raquel, especially, back when they were a team initially, most of the matches would go Dakota would get isolated, eventually get a hot tag to Raquel. She would win the match for the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last night, it was whenever Dakota was in there for the most part, she was doing pretty darn well.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Raquel, since she had the bad knee, once Toxic Attraction focused on that, it led to her losing the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, in that sense, it's some interesting symmetrical storytelling they're doing there, but it's just that between Braun losing on Saturday and getting the title back on Monday, and then Raquel and Dakota winning on Saturday only to lose again on Tuesday,
mm-hmm.
It's just there's some kind of head-scratching creative decisions.
Yeah, I know. Again, you have to ask yourself, I mean, I know obviously Dakota's going to, they could do the thing where Dakota does a little bit of double duty. Are you confirming the Fightful thing?
About?
Oh, sorry. Hip Hop Hippo. Whenever I see you look down. Hip Hop Hippo says Sean Ross Sapp is saying right now that Walter and Marcel might be on SmackDown as early as Friday. Thank you, Sean, for validating my thumbnail today. So people are going to come in here. Oh, you guys, why would you say it? Yeah, no, I don't know. Again, it could be the situation where let's get the titles off them. Raquel and Dakota go up to SmackDown. That's a possibility as well. But they're the women's division on.
But why would they get that? Why would Dakota then say she's coming for Mandy Rose if she was just gonna?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They do the double duty thing with her for a big win for Mandy against Dakota Kai, and then
that match is happening next week.
Yeah, and then Dakota moves on to SmackDown or whatever. That's a possibility. God, if anybody's gonna go to SmackDown, it should be Io Shirai, who again I don't think she was seen last night, was she?
Nope.
Yeah,
nope.
Boy. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man. Are they going to do like a whole invasion angle? Can I change my thumbnail to NXT Invasion of SmackDown? Confirmed?
No, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, man. I'm going to do that thumbnail.
You can, but I'm just saying they're not going to do that.
I'll do that for Wrestle Juice.
You can get the remember when they did that for Survivor Series and Triple H was lead them all?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like some of them were on the Jeep and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Go through and put faces of new of 2.0 talents.
Yeah, but they're all bald with mustaches.
There you go.
All right, man, let's dive into this. NXT. So wait, was that on like a Fightful Select article or was that on his Twitter?
Yeah, it just went up.
Okay, cool. Right on. Go subscribe to Fightful Select, everybody. Sean's given us, he's been like, hey, if you guys want to break news right after we publish, but like, they're, you know what, man? They put a lot of work over there at Fightful.
They do.
That Fightful Select is surely worth that paywall, that money.
Oh, absolutely.
They got to pay their people.
Exactly.
So go check them out, and we get to keep on breaking their news to you guys. And give you our duller thoughts about it.
But every time we do that, what do we say? Go subscribe to Fightful Select.
Yeah, man. So kicked off with a Braun Breaker promo. He says, "What a weekend! Yeah, my first Mania weekend had a lot of ups and downs. One of the greatest moments in my life to induct my dad and uncle into WWE Hall of Fame. And stand and deliver biggest match of my life. I failed, I didn't get the job done. Same day I got to go to Mania, and I got up thinking, I'm going to headline Mania one day. I'm not leaving Dallas without an NXT title. So I picked myself up, challenged Dolph for the biggest Raw of the year. I beat his ass, brought the NXT title back to where it belongs. Oh, yeah." Then Braun is interrupted by some weird theme song, and then I remember it was Imperium's.
Yeah. And then Walter comes into the ring and tells Braun, that's a nice story, but nobody cares about it. All I care about is that title and what it stands for. It means being the best in NXT. But Braun, can you really call yourself the best till you step in the ring against me?
The ring General.
Yeah. And Braun said, it's been a hell of a weekend. Yeah. But if Walter wants it, he's got it tonight.
You got it tonight, Jack. After that, we had...
this is weird. This is really weird. Talk about weird TV production. So as that's kind of winding down, in the background of the ramp, you see the Creed brothers start to run in, and Vic Joseph mentions, and then you cut hard to commercial.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's called the cliffhanger. That's a tease in the TV industry.
Well, kind of, but that's like barely a tease. Come out and have the brawl start before you cut to commercial.
Oh, that's what I'm. I like the specter of. Yeah, I like the specter.
That's what I'm accustomed to with my wrestling television. I've been conditioned to expect that because you come back and the match is happening.
Innovative.
And then they show the replay of the brawl during the commercial break. Either give me some of the brawl and then go to commercial.
No, man.
Or just have the match start.
Because I don't know. Is a brawl going to break out? Are they going to make good? Are they going to come out and get some popcorn?
A brawl is going to break out.
I don't know. I didn't go into that commercial. I didn't know. I thought
because
maybe
you probably didn't see the Creeds back there, did you?
I thought I did because Vic Joseph yelled at me. He said, "Hey, Steve, the Creeds are coming." I thought when they come back to commercial, maybe they're playing a game of Battleship, man. I don't know. Maybe they're playing some Connect 4. I don't know. But no, they happen to be in a match. Know. Well, I knew after commercial, I knew.
No, but you already know.
Before then, I didn't know. That's what you do in wrestling. You don't know what's in my head.
I do know. No one's ever played Connect 4 to settle disputes.
They should. They really should.
Really
Who do you think would win, Imperium versus Creed? Imperium would have to win that, right? Connect 4? Creeds look like oafs. They look like oafs. They kind of have doofus, a look to them.
Cyber Knight has a good idea. Risk. That'll take up the whole 2 hours.
The Creed
would actually move at a quicker pace than this episode seemingly did.
The Creed brothers, it would shut them down, dude. Oafs.
Maybe it depends if you're playing a mission risk or standard. Anyway, so this match was
Imperium. I can't even handle risk, man.
Oh, risk.
I'm a big ol' oaf, though.
Imperium versus Creed brothers. Decent enough match. A weird ending, though. So it's like going all right for Imperium. They're doing fine. And then, so that double drop kick spot where they have one of their opponents kind of dangling on the apron. Bartel will drop kick him in the ring, and then Eichner will kind of run by and do a drop kick outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Well, that's all set up. Bartel does his bit. Eichner acts like he's going to do it and just kind of keeps on walking and just walks out.
Peace out. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm done. Tired
and
of
then
shit.
Bartel's like, what the shit? And he gets destroyed by the Creeds. And after a sliding clothesline from Julius, he loses. So he gets out of there. A couple of dudes hit the ring, blast Creeds with chairs. They unmask. It's pretty deadly.
With new names. And then they just they stand there way too long, awkwardly.
And they yell at, they introduce themselves, the Creed brothers, though. Their new names.
With their new names, yeah. Kit Kitman and
Elton Prince. And
Elton Prince is the only one I remember because it's a combination of two, popular singers, Elton John and Prince. Yeah, then the other Kit Carson, whatever his name is. I'm not going to remember. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that was cool. I just realized, are they going to put Gunther and Marcel Bartel in a fucking tag team? Are they just going to be a tag team now?
If with Eichner leaving, they might, or seemingly leaving Imperium, they might just call up Walter and Bartel and make them a tag team.
Somebody here in chat said Eichner, because I believe Eichner is Italian, correct?
Yeah.
Is he going to be? God, they're not going to put it. Somebody in chat said this, and I was like, no, that's ridiculous. They would never put him with Tony D'Angelo. They're going to put him with Tony D'Angelo, Larson.
Gosh.
And they might make him an entirely new person. Yeah, get the papers.
Anyway, let's move on.
Eichner's probably just pissed because Marcel looks so much better than him. Marcel is like alpha male. He looks amazing.
Yeah, I know, but Eichner's like he's
a big dude, but he ain't no Marcel
Jack.
Bartel. Bartel could be on the cover of Vogue.
Yeah.
If they had dudes on the cover. Do they have dudes on the cover of Vogue? I don't know. You'd think they would.
You think GQ they do?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's for dudes. That's like the Vogue for dudes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I remember. It's been a long time since I walked by a newsstand and perused the magazine, Steve.
I usually peruse the other magazine section at my corner liquor store.
Oh.
A lot of paper bags and plastic bags.
I was going to say the ones with the boards in front, huh?
Hey, how's it going? You got anything new? Next up, we had a Toxic Attraction interview. Gigi said, hey, you know what, man? We'd still be champs if it wasn't for Wendy Chu. JC says, I'm already sick of Raquel and Dakota's reunion. Gigi says, we're going to put an end to Raquel's career. JC says, add Dakota to that list as well. And then Mandy says, that's what happens when you make Toxic Attraction angry. Women get hurt. After tonight, I'm still be holding my title. And Gigi and Jace will be two-time champs. We're not just Toxic Attraction. We are the attraction. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we get Cameron Grimes coming to the ring. And he says, I just want to say we did it. Made good on my promise that I made to my dad. I know he's smiling down ear to ear. People often talk about that in this business, climbing to the ladder to success. He says, stand deliver. I did just that. For the past 3 years, busted my ass to prove that my dad was right, that I deserve to be a WWE superstar. So it was awesome for me to say that I am the new North American champ. Don't worry, I'm not going to get complacent. Do everything he can to make sure the title will make multiple trips to the moon. He's interrupted by Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out here. I want to congratulate you. I want to make you made good on your promise to your dad. Put on a hell of a performance at Stand Deliver. It's cool you won the title, but now comes the hard part where you got to hold on to it. He says, I came to NXT to face the best, and championships run through my bloodline.
Yeah, because the Roman,
his brothers, says, I'm asking you, a champion needs challengers, and that challenger is me. And then Grimes says, I respect you. When I look in your eyes, I see a man who fought every day to be here, staying here at this moment. And if I'm going to be who I say I'm going to be, a champ, that means I got to beat people like you. You're on. They shake hands, and Solo pulls him real close So face to face. They kind of stare off and talk a little garbage.
And they start making out. It's hot.
Then we got Joe. Oh, I'm so tired of Joe Gacy.
I'll do this one, man. Yeah. So Joe Gacy. Unfortunately, this time he was not at the site of a presidential assassination. I was hoping maybe he'd be on the, whatever remains of Ford's Theater. I don't know.
Oh, Ford's Theater's still there.
Oh, it's not a parking lot?
No, at least last time I was in DC, it wasn't. It was they were renovating it.
It's probably a historical site. The Deadwood Saloon, of course, is a parking lot now. That's not really a historical site until the HBO series popped up. Maybe if it had stuck around. Yeah, I don't really think so. Anyways, so Joe says the world is a dark and awful place sometimes, but the one true beacon of light is family. Through blood or bond, having someone you trust is the most important thing in your life. Someone that knows every side of you, your deepest thoughts, your truest vulnerabilities. It is imperative to success. And if you don't have family, that only leads to self-destruction. And then, meanwhile, Draco Anthony is watching the monitor in the locker room, rapt his attention. Zion walks in, says, "Man, you don't need to listen to Gacy." And Draco says, "Hey, man, don't tell me what to do. Worry about yourself, Zion Quinn." And Zion says, "Hey, look, bro, just trying to have you back." And Draco says, "I don't need you, man." And Zion says, "No, you need to be taught a lesson in respect." And so they're probably going to have a match.
They have a match next week.
But this Draco, he's got the poison of Joe Gacy in his head, man.
Yeah, seemingly. Then we got a Tiffany Stratton interview. She says, "Hey, I know it was Mania weekend, but did everyone forget the travesty that happened to me last week? Saray cost her match." Mm-hmm. But she says, once I'm done with Saray, she's not even going to be able to see the sun. Or she's done. Yeah, she won't be able to see the sun when I'm done with her or her necklace. I'm a winner, not a loser.
I'm a bright, shining star. After that, we had Dexter Loomis versus Duke Hudson. This was bad. Recap the silliness from the weekend with the poll. And this was just, I get it. They're trying to do some like rom-com stuff here. So like they end up brawling to the outside and like they're like trying to post each other, like what they're, trying to grab wrist control and then yank each other into the post. And so Persia on one side with Duke and then Indy on the other side with Dexter, they're trying to like help them. They're trying to like pull them with. Mm-hmm. And they end up both like letting go, and then they both bang the pole together at the same time. And they fall, and the ref is counting, and they're trying to get them in there, but they're kind of dead weight, and then they just both get counted out. And then the crowd starts saying that was stupid, which I kind of agree with it, but still be a little more tactful, please.
Yeah. I mean, just because you feel a certain way at a wrestling show doesn't mean you have to express it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't like this either, but I wouldn't have started This Is Stupid chant.
I would have said A for effort.
Yeah, if I would have said nothing. Yeah, I would have stood there like this.
Yeah. Get on your phone. After that, we had a Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez interview. Kai says, we've done more damage to each other than Toxic Attraction have. Raquel says, when you're scared.
Have to us, I think she said. Yeah, that was the point.
Right, yeah. Raquel says, when you're scared, you make threats, and that's what Toxic Attraction is. Scared. She says her and Dakota have been the most dominant women in this division before, and now again as tag champions, which will only continue. You could say that's bad news for JC and Gigi.
Yeah. Then we get Bartel and Walter in the locker room, and Bartel is just like yelling and screaming in German.
Oh, he's pissed because we forgot to mention, he got super busted open.
He got busted open.
Yeah, during that match. He's pissed.
And then Walter says, get your head straight.
Yeah.
And Fabian needs to as well. I'm challenging Braun for the NXT title, and I'm going to restore honor of this great sport. There can be no more distractions.
Yep. After that, we had Toxic Attraction versus Raquel and Dakota. Kind of described this match a little bit earlier. This time the roles were a little bit reversed. Of course, you add into that whole thing. We had Mandy Rose get involved and Wendy Chu get involved. Ended up with a Toxic Attraction getting the pin on Raquel after a Toxic Shock, their finish.
Yeah, that's what their new finish, or their finish is called, sorry. Then we get another Joe Gacy promo. He says, chaos defines you as a person. What do you do when everything is going wrong and the panic button is pressed? Chaos erupts and you reach out to your family, your father, your mother, your brother or sister. You can do your best to control the chaos. What happens when you can't control it? The chaos then controls you.
Yeah. Okay. This was yeah, sure thing, Joe. Get to the damn point, son. So this was awful, and it does nothing for him because how do you apply this to pro wrestling? But after this, we had the Tony D'Angelo made man ceremony where he becomes the Don of NXT. Now, Larson, I've seen my fair share of mafia movies. One thing I do know is
and books as well.
I've seen those books. I've not read them, but I've seen them. Okay. My dad on the way to Nam read The Godfather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I always like that story. It's a very hardcore thing to say. On the way to Vietnam, I read The Godfather. Wow. You're pretty cool, Dad. So anyways, one thing I do know is that the Don is quite a bit more elevated in stature than a made man.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one thing. That's like Mafia Movie 101.
Yeah.
The Don is top guy.
And the ceremony he's doing, if I understand my mafia lore correctly, that's the made man ceremony that he did.
Sure, the blood and stuff and the card or whatever,
which is
it is.
a long way from Don.
Right.
There's a lot of steps in between.
Now, let me ask you this. Is it maybe now, because I don't think made men are I've never heard any made man referred to as a Don of anything, but understandably, maybe made men could be like middle managers. You get up to a certain point and then you have your own division of, tough men, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, I'm the made man. I control this block. You don't call yourself the Don of that block.
No,
he's out of line here, calling himself the Don of NXT.
I think he's going from A to Z, like directly.
Yeah, right. Exactly. This is great here in chat. Mr. Dope says, I really love this shit. Not gonna lie. Dope is all in on this. So AJ Galante, who is part of something like the Bad Boys of Hockey, maybe Enforcer would know something about that.
Yeah.
He was hosting this, and I just felt for this guy because he was out there just trying to do his thing.
I know.
And he got these jackasses like where my couch is over here saying, this is boring. Yeah. And he's losing himself and has an awkward smile on his face. And Tony's like, come on, man. This is my career that these people are messing with. So anyways, Tony comes to the ring, says, hey, how great we're staying and deliver. Everybody was rooting for Ciampa. They thought Ciampa was going to run through me, but look what happened. Hey, what I did Saturday was unbelievable. But tonight, it gets even better. So they start the ceremony, and AJ, because AJ had introed it. He says, he says, there's a card here with your blood on it. And when your blood hits that card, you accept an unbreakable oath. And if you betray that oath, you leave on your back. He says, is that what happens when you go to main roster, I guess? He says, this is a thing of honor. Is Tony ready to accept? That was a dumb joke. Come on. He says, is Tony ready to accept the position? And the crowd chants, boring. And then AJ laughs nervously. And then AJ presents Tony with a ring. And then AJ announces that Tony is officially, there's a hockey Don officially announcing that wrestling Don is a thing. And they drink some wine. I love that you have this noted here. Then they drink wine from champagne glasses.
Yeah, man.
I never would have thought about that.
Missing the entire point of that. There's a reason you drink wine from a specific receptacle.
Okay, yeah.
And beer and different kind of beers you drink from different receptacles. Same with champagne. There's a reason behind it. So yes, that bothered me.
I love it. That's great, man. That's White Brownie just says wrestling dong.
Maggie says she had the same thought. Yeah. You drink wine from the bulbous glass because it gets the scents up in your nose, man.
Yeah,
it gets air in there.
There you
and you hold it by the stem so you don't warm the wine. That's why the stem's there.
There you go. There's some knowledge for you. That's good stuff. After that, we added, does this matter now? MSK interview. I don't think. Next, Dakota. Oh.
Yeah, in short, Grayson Waller and Songa challenge MSK to a tag match.
Yeah, Grayson, there's your new tag champions. Somebody made the point earlier, and I apologize. I have to scroll all the way back up. But when Enzo was released, Drake Maverick just came out and said, "So I guess we're going to need a new champion." assuming everybody knows, what had happened, I guess. Then anyways, after that, Dakota Kai's backstage. She's pissed. She throws a bunch of stuff around, says Mandy's not safe. And then we get Nikita Lyons versus Lash Legend. And Nikita Lyons, she's something else, man. I like her stuff.
I was pretty impressed with Lash in this match.
You could tell they put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, you could. And that handspring moonsault that Lash Legend hit, holy shit, that was impressive.
Pretty cool. That was
really impressive.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
John Thon here in chat says AJ Galante was the kid from the Untold Crimes and Punishment documentary on Netflix. His dad was a mobster, bought his son a hockey team, and AJ basically turned his team into a WWE show. Bunch of goons and snipers.
Oh, wow.
Almost won a championship. His dad was busted and the league folded the team.
Hey. Oh, no. Now I got an E-Fed. So, yeah, anyways, Nikita Lyons gets the win here with the spin kick and then the splits cover. Picks up that win. Crowd was into this. After that, we had in the parking lot, the most dangerous place in wrestling. Legado del Fantasma walks up to Tony D. Santos extends his congratulations there to Tony on becoming Don of NXT. He says, I'm no stranger to being a boss, El Jefe, so I'm going to offer you some wisdom. Keep your business out of my business, and everything will be okay. So we got like a couple of organized crime syndicates here going in NXT, man.
Then we had our main event, Walter versus Braun Breaker. This is a perfectly fine match.
Yeah, the match was fine, except
I didn't have any problem with the match
Braun
itself.
Breaker won. That was the problem.
That was that problem. And even if they build up the match so it actually feels meaningful and substantial and important, and Braun still wins that, fine. Build to that moment.
Right.
There's no build. It just happened, and they job Walter out.
Yeah.
And if they would have had a title change here, it would have made a lot of sense too, because Braun early on was like, "Ow, my arm's all jacked up from the weekend."
Yeah.
And Walter was really focusing on that.
Yeah.
In the end, and Walter. Here's another thing that bugged me about it. Walter threw everything at him.
Yeah.
Power bomb, top rope splash, bunch of chops, and Braun just kept kicking out of everything.
Yeah, but you know what, man? If it's true that Walter's headed to SmackDown, then next week Braun Breaker. I mean, he should be unbeatable now because he beat Walter. That's how it should go. Now he's unbeatable. he's going to have that title for. I don't foresee them doing another Dolph Ziggler thing where they just take the title off.
No. I think he's going to have it for a while.
I think he's going to have it for a while. So if this makes him like a world beater, and he's been in there with the best, then I'm all for it. If it means Gunther's going to SmackDown, because that's the tradition. You go out on your back.
Yeah, just don't have him kick out of a powerbomb or something. So anyways, Braun gets the win, hits clotheslines, finish. And then his dad shows up on the Tron, Rick Steiner. He goes, Bronson, I'm proud of you. Congratulations on your win. He's like super calm. He wouldn't suspect anything's wrong. And the camera pulls out, and he's tied up like around a chair, and he is inside some sort of cell or like a shark cage.
Yeah.
And there's Joe Gacy and Harlan. And Joe says, I told you, Braun, that family was everything. Let's see if we can teach this old dog some new tricks. And he covers up the lens of the camera.
So, man, I'll be honest with you. You want NXT to get 800,000, 900,000, a million? Scott Steiner, big bad booty daddy. Get him in there.
Uncle and nephew working together to free Rick Steiner, huh?
How great would that be? That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. It would just take, Triple H and Scott Steiner having to work together. If Triple H is involved with NXT, at the very least, Shawn Michaels and him. Yeah, I don't know. In theory,
I don't know if Shawn Michaels ever had any issue with Scott Steiner.
I don't know, man. No, that'd be great, man. You bring Scott Steiner in there, give him a live mic, see how that goes. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions here, Larson. It's been a lively episode today.
That tends to happen with these NXT ones,
That is totally true, Let's see here. I do appreciate that I was able to use the Rick Steiners being captured for the little thumbnail I used for the
Good.
I got a couple questions here. First up, Gregory Fiella. If Scott Steiner does appear in NXT, Will he cut a similar math promo like TNA? Yeah, that follows him everywhere, and he will reference it. Absolutely. They've already referenced it.
Yeah, maybe.
Jimmy Thomas with the update. So since you've been there, they have not demolished the historical landmark Ford's Theater. It's still open and running shows.
Well, that's cool. I wanted to go there to the actual theater when I was in DC last, but it was closed for renovations, as I mentioned, so I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah,
I think what was that? That book about the Manhunt, the one about his assassination.
Yeah, right, Manhunt. Yeah,
I think I was reading that book around that time.
I started listening to that audio tape on a road trip from Sac to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And I got about an hour in before I started playing some stereo MCs or something. I don't know. Some Jesus Jones, perhaps.
So it was like 5.5 hours of Connected after, just on repeat.
Yeah, exactly. The last half hour is right here, right now, on repeat.
Oh, gosh.
Alex Fosh says, in hindsight, how would you book the potential line? Did stereo MCs have any other songs? They could have just made that one song and been fine.
Well, in your estimation, yeah.
Says Alex Foster says, in hindsight, how would you have booked a potential alliance between Finn Balor and Undisputed Era if they never split up or left the company?
Well, they seemed to, like in NXT, there's a couple instances where it seemed like, oh, this could happen.
Yeah.
Just do what they did, but instead of having somebody turn on somebody else, they just joined forces. It was there. White Brownie asks, which brand best fits these talents? Io Shirai. SmackDown. She can feud with Charlotte. Kaylee Ray.
Raw.
Raquel Gonzalez.
SmackDown.
Trick and Carmella.
SmackDown. That's the A show, yeah. Gunther, well, I guess SmackDown, because we're stuck with that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Nick Kyle says, while Roman is WWE Universal Champion, does Solo Sikoa have what it takes to be NXT champion right now, or does he still need time? I think that he needs to sort of build himself in NXT first. I think that sort of makes a better story.
He needs to get some wins under his belt. I like his intensity on the mic. I like his matches.
Yeah, I think he's a fine wrestler.
I like all what he's got going. Just needs some to build a better connection with the audience, and I think totally.
I think they could really, and I don't think they will, sadly. I think they could do something really awesome with Solo Sikoa and the bloodline and all that stuff and tell a long-term story. That could be really fascinating. I just don't know if they have sort of, they keep it simple there,
Yeah, I know. Mayor of Planet Houston says, do you like Liv Morgan now that she's been hanging out with Minoru Suzuki, getting tips, potentially interviewing to be a new member of Suzuki Gun? I saw she took a picture with Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with Liv Morgan. I think she's put in a ton of work, and she's gotten to be a pretty good wrestler.
I think in ring, I think she's absolutely fine. I think she's good. I don't really connect with her character much. Like, I just don't, there's nothing there that I've seen that I'm like, oh yeah, wow, I really want to root for this person. But like as a wrestler, I think that, like you said, it's obvious she's put in a lot of work. She takes what she does seriously. She just, they need to do something with her that like, and here's the thing, like I know that plenty of people like her, so maybe it's not a concern, but like, I just don't, there's nothing for me to like sort of be like interested in there. So, this is a good question. David Matushek, what kind of torture would Rick Steiner endure off screen while Braun tries to save him? Here's what it is. Joe Gacy, in the most vicious way, he's got him tied up in that cage, and he wheels out a TV, and he starts playing a whole 20-hour compilation of Joe Gacy promos.
Oh, dear.
Right? How horrible is that?
That sounds terrible.
Just aimless rambling about nothing.
Repetitive.
On
loop. Just a loop. Maggie says the last time I connected with Liv was when she was with Ruby, and that sucks because she definitely is putting in the work. Rooting for her though.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Mr. Forbes, he says 20 Steiner math 24/7.
Oh, I'm fine with that. Rick would probably be. He'd be laughing his ass off.
Steiner might not be.
Oh, he'd be great with it. He'd be like, he loves his brother, man. Gamer Realm says, if they put R-Truth in Edge's faction as a really serious character, could that be the push he needs? No, nobody would. No. What? They would instantly, they would be a comedy act at that point. What? R-Truth is a serious character in Edge's faction. Everybody would be waiting for the punchline.
Yeah.
If you want to truly distract everybody be waiting for the punchline.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it the other way. If you really want him in that faction, you have to spend a good year at least deprogramming everybody thinking that R-Truth is a comedy guy.
Or better yet, I got a better idea. Make Edge and Damian Priest comedy guys.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then R-Truth joins.
They're like that promo was borderline comedy the other night.
Yeah, I know.
Losers. Just called them losers.
I know.
Xavier Gray wants to know, do we think Saray is ever going to get a push or not? I feel like probably.
I don't know.
The character is goofy stuff, but like her in-ring presentation.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
The superhero stuff, she looks amazing, and her wrestling is fucking awesome. I hope so. That'd be awesome. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility she takes that title off of Mandy Rose. I think it's possible. Is it likely? Maybe not, but I think it's a possibility. I don't see anything precluding her from doing that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate everybody. Of course, we're going to be back tonight for our post. It's our the Dynamite After Mania episode.
Yeah.
Tonight. So that should be fun.
I'm going to see Samoa Joe make his AEW in-ring debut.
Ooh. Do we know who he's fighting?
Max Caster.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
It's an Owen tournament match.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Easy win for Samoa Joe.
Should be a good match.
And then Adam Cole Bebe versus Christian. I've got two Christians
FTR
here.
versus Young Bucks.
This Christian? And I've got another Christian. Who would win between long-haired Christian and then one more match Christian? That's not one more match Christian.
I'd probably give the edge to the long-haired Christian, I think.
This guy looked cooler. This guy looks like he's
one more match Christian. Does he have a shirt on?
It's like it's a sheer shirt. It's actually not one more match Christian. I think it's fresh haircut Christian.
Gotcha.
This looks more like Christian though. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us. Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.